Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today for our special presentation to meet Dr. Jiten Ruparel. And he has been here before, and he has joined us on discussions on world religions. He is a very humble person, and I'm very grateful that he's here. I've introduced him as a scholar of Hinduism, but he prefers just being a practitioner and a student
Yes.
of it. And so, Jiten, I'm wondering if maybe before your presentation, you can share a little bit about yourself and your introduction to Hinduism, and then maybe present your talk. How does that sound?
Okay.
Good. Everyone, let's welcome Jiten with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm an old model, high mileage. So I've been lots of things in my lifetime. I started off studying electrical engineering in London when I was 17 years old. Did my engineering, I worked there. I worked in nuclear power for about 20 years. And then I worked for Atomic Energy of Canada. And then Ohio State was interested in me in nuclear safety. So they wrote a letter to Senator John Glenn, who sponsored me. And so I came here on a third preference visa. And I worked for AEP with Harvard for about 12 years. And then...
Jiten, I'm going to ask you to keep the microphone straight in front of your mouth.
Okay.
Right in front, yep.
Like that?
Yeah, let's try it, yep.
Like that?
Yeah.
And at the ripe old age of 55, I decided to do my PhD at Ohio State. So I went and got my PhD in technology management, interdisciplinary. It was a strange experience because I had 5 teachers. I had Ed Jennings, who used to be president, and he was my financial advisor. Roger Blackwell for marketing, and of course And so I had 5 advisors, so I had to write 5 written theses and 5 orals. It was one of a kind. So anyway, I finished, and then I taught at Ohio State, I taught at Franklin, and then I ended up at Otterbein for 10 years, and I retired. You cannot hear me, ma'am? You're having difficulty?
Good. As close to your lips as possible.
Yeah, she's having difficulty.
Okay, that's okay. Go ahead, keep talking. Keep going.
And so basically, I took early retirement early, and I went to a monastery for a year. So they got shocked. Here I was, a tenured professor, and I went off to a monastery for a year to do some spiritual work on myself. So I'm going to talk about not Hinduism as such. I'm going to talk about more general things. This is not about being a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew. This is about who we are, okay? So it's really very fundamental. It's very personal, okay? So you can see from the topics, morality, ethics, religion, and spirituality, it's a very broad field. All I'm trying to do today is to have some clear definitions, if you will, about what these things are. People mix it up and people say things one way or another. So what I will do is ask you to hold your questions till the end, because as I go along, some of them will be answered. But if not, I'll stay as long as needed to answer whatever questions you may have. So this is not about me being a Hindu or somebody else being Jewish or Christian or Muslim or what have you, okay? This is about a clear understanding of who we are, okay? It's about you, it's about me, okay? Okay, morality and ethics. Short one. Morality is internal. It's the thing that guides us, okay? It is our conscience. It is the little voice within. That's what the Quakers say. It's the little voice within. It's an individual conviction about what is right, what is wrong, what is fair, what is unfair. Now, we have three words in the English language: moral, amoral, and immoral. Moral means you're guided from the inside. It's your internal values that are guiding you that makes you a moral person. This is how your beliefs are. You are a moral person, and you will not do bad things because you are a moral person. Then there are immoral people who they have taken a pillow and they've suffocated their conscience. So they'll do whatever they want, and therefore they cause a lot of harm in this world. They're immoral people, okay? But then you have another strange group of people who are amoral. They're not really moral. They're not really immoral. Their morality depends on how they can get the maximum benefit for themselves. So depending on the circumstances, their behavior will change. Seen a few politicians like that? They say, oh, they're immoral. They are amoral. Okay? All right. So much for definitions. Oh. Ethics are the rules by which we transact with other people. So morality is inside. Ethics is how we transact with each other, right? And we do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Sound familiar? So this says basically, we speak of ethical behavior. So ethics is how we transact with our fellow man. Morality is the internal guidance, okay? So, wrong one again. Legality is negotiated, changing, and amoral. It is interpreted. Businesses can be legal, but not ethical. You know that, right, Harvey? You know of businesses that are legal, but not ethical, okay? You know of people who will fire somebody during the holiday season and hire them back so they don't have to pay them a holiday pay. That may be legal, but it's not ethical, okay? So we don't like non-ethical people. We do not, okay? It is supposed to be the guardrail, legality, that prevents excessive greed and lust for power and destroying society. It's a guardrail, okay? Legality does not promise justice. The legal system does not guarantee justice, but it does give us access to the legal system, okay? And people says, oh, the law will give me justice. Not necessarily. The law will give you access to the legal system. And then your lawyer will battle with the other lawyer. It'll be a gladiatorial combat, and who knows who's going to win, okay? Religion, now we come back to religion and spirituality. And this is the main part of the talk, okay? Are they the same thing? Do you think religion and spirituality are the same thing? Do you? Does everyone think religion and spirituality is the same thing? No, no. You see, there are enough people who say, no, 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 you can be religious and not spiritual. Okay, then the reverse question will come, can you be spiritual without being religious? We'll discuss that in a minute. Okay. They are related, but they're not the same. Religion and spirituality are related, but not the same. Spirituality is an orientation. Religion is a means to that orientation. The purpose of all religion is to point to our spirituality. Okay? That's what religion is supposed to do at the most fundamental level, is to remind us that we are human beings. Okay? And spirituality is supposed to remind us that there is divinity in every living creature, whether it be a man or a woman or an animal or a bird or an insect. There is divinity. So when we meet amongst Hindus, we say namaste, which says, I bow down to the divinity in you. So you are inherently divine. Your core is inherently divine. Each and every one of you is at the core divine. You may have a body that may or may not be divine. You may have a mind that may or may not be divine. But you are essentially divine. The Lord is in you. And the Lord, that presence of the Lord makes you divine. But the Lord exists in everyone. Everyone. The Lord is in them. Okay? The purpose of religion is to constantly remind us of our spirituality and those of others. Organized religion does not stress this often enough. When we go through religious discussions, we rarely hear the expression, be spiritual. Be spiritual. We say, be religious, be good. Nothing wrong with that. But the purpose, the ultimate purpose, is to be spiritual. Because you are, in essence, spirit. Yes, you have a body. Yes, you have a mind. Yes, you have an intellect. But in essence, you are divine spirit. Okay? And that doesn't die when the body dies. Religious rituals, festivals, parables, and rites of passages provide a tradition and a very useful framework. It preserves tradition, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. These are traditions. They are religious traditions. If you come from a different faith, your festivals may be different. But their purpose is to preserve your religious traditions. Okay? Its purpose is to preserve that. So if the Jewish people celebrate Passover, it's because of their tradition. They're maintaining their religious tradition. Okay? Also, festivals build up a sense of community. Okay? So you could have turkey, you could have Thanksgiving, in all this Christmas time, gift giving. It all builds community. Religion helps build community. Okay? All right. Religions declare saints, heroes, and role models. Okay? So religions decide who is a saint, who is not. Okay? By consensus, maybe. Religion is a general prescription for those who choose are unable to navigate the original scriptures. Okay? Religion does not require an inquiring, subtle questioning in intellect. In fact, questioning is often discouraged. So if you go into organized religion, that when I was a very nasty young boy, not nasty in the sense, always saying why. Why? It drove my mother crazy. Oh, you should do this. And I would say, why? Why? Oh, this is how you pray. And I would say, why? So don't keep saying why, just do it, okay? Because she did not know the answer. She was getting frustrated with me. And I always wanted to know why. Very inquiring mind. Spirituality does not prevent you from asking why. Organized religion may stop you. Do what I say. Don't keep saying why. Okay? Religion is taught. It is not intrinsic to a human being. When a baby is born, it has no religion. It does not have a religion, okay? Religious leaders decide what's acceptable to followers. This is why every religion has baptism or bar mitzvah or other things to confirm their religion. Babies do not have religion. Babies are free of dogma. Babies are free of hate. Babies are loving. When a baby smiles at you, you feel great. At least I do. When a baby smiles at me, I say, oh my God, what a beautiful baby. Okay. Religion. Each religion defines God, the soul, and explains creation in its own way. Okay? The Christian tradition will explain how creation happened, what God is like, okay? And it says that you will follow this. You will follow what the scriptures say. The Christian scriptures has to be followed by Christians. The Jewish scriptures have to be followed by the Jews. The Hindu scriptures have to be followed by Hindus. And the Muslim scriptures have to be followed by the Muslims, okay? So religion is pretty much taught. It is inherited, it is taught. Each religion claims to have an exclusive franchise to God. Each religion will say, if you don't follow my religion, you will go to hell. Okay. So they put the fear of God in you. And this is wrong. You do not need to fear God. God is in you. The divinity in you is God. You do not need to fear God. God is a loving presence in each and every one of us. We are all his or her children. We do not hate our children. God does not hate any particular group. Okay? All right. Many religions have messiahs and prophets, and they say that we will take you to heaven. You follow me, I'll take you to heaven. Okay. Each religion defines the soul and explains creation its own way. Food restrictions are mandated by religions. Hindus will not eat beef. Muslims will not eat pork. And, this comes from religion. It does not come from spirituality, okay? I grew up a vegetarian for first 18 years of my life. And then when I went to England, I took to meat in a big way, all right? And I used to enjoy burgers and fish and God knows everything. But I have become a vegetarian again as I get older. My body does not need it, and I'm reverting back to what I grew up with. It does not define who we are. Most people want help from a religious professional when it comes to making rites of passage, okay? When a child is born and you have to give a name, you want a priest, you want baptism, or you want some confirmation, then you get a religious professional. Every religion does that, okay? Okay. Then we need priests, Hindu priests, Christian priests, Jewish rabbis, to tell us what to do when someone dies. Rites of passage. If you're a Hindu, you would cremate. If you're a non-Hindu, you will bury. What does that prove? It proves nothing. It proves that the body which is left behind is nothing but matter. The life from that body is gone. That body is nothing but lifeless matter. You can recycle it any way you want. You can cremate, you can burn, you can do whatever you want. It is dead matter. And we recognize that. But we do not show disrespect for the dead body. American Marines go to great lengths to bring back the dead body and to give it a Christian burial. Muslims do the same, okay? They think that we should show respect for the dead body by, if we are a Christian or a Jew, that you bury the dead body, all right? Because it is part of your belief systems, in your religious belief systems, okay? From a spirituality point of view, the dead body is matter. It is not spirit. It has no life. It has no intelligence. It is just that matter. Okay. Religion moderates the drive for money and power and fame. The intended purpose is benign. A religious person is told, don't be greedy. Don't be overly ambitious. Don't step on other people. Don't run over other people. Okay? And this is why we as Americans find Russia and China to be problematic, because they do not have a religion. Communism does not have a religion, and it bothers Americans more than anybody else. Not having a religion is a dangerous thing. Okay? Religious beliefs are non-negotiable. Never go into a party and try to convince people to change their religious beliefs. Politics and religion are out. Never try to convince somebody that their religion is wrong, that their religious beliefs. These are non-negotiable, deeply held core beliefs. Respect that this is their belief system. This is what they want. This is what they believe. So be it. So be it. Each religion evolves over time into distinct denominations, just as a tree develops branches. But each branch has the same sap that gives the tree its life. You do not want to cut off all the branches of a tree because it's a different branch. As time goes on, Hinduism has so many denominations, Judaism has so many denominations, Christianity has so many denominations, Catholicism, Protestantism, you name it. Each one of them takes its juice from the same source. It looks different, it flowers differently, it shapes differently, but that doesn't mean you want to cut it off. You don't want to cut it off. Why? Because the source is the same. The ground source of all religions is the same. Okay? Religious leaders can become corrupt and vengeful and can impose sanctions and rule by fear, threatening the wrath of God. This is abuse of power. This is what you say in some religious leaders. They threaten. You will follow me. I am the representative of this religion. Okay? So if a religious leader becomes corrupt, that's a very difficult situation to be in because you can't argue with a religious leader, okay? Because they are appealing to your belief systems. Religious differences have caused wars. You see this today in the news. You've seen this over history. Religious differences cause war. Spirituality prevents wars and ends war. If a war has to end, you will not change the religious beliefs. You will have to appeal to the higher principles of spirituality in a person before the war ends. You are a human being. I'm a human being. You hit me, I suffer. I hit you, you suffer. Our children suffer. What's going on here? Why are we doing this? That is spirituality. You see the divinity in everyone. And unless we see the other person as human, you will not end wars. If I see you as subhuman, you see me as subhuman, there is no hope. We all have to say, you are human, I am human, you are different, I am different. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. You want to wear a pantsuit, that's all right. You want to wear skirts, that's fine. You know, it's okay. Okay? Who says that we all have to look the same? Who says we have to all eat the same food? Look at the different restaurants in Columbus. They're not all the same. Okay? Spirituality is the ground source of all religions. It is the common factor of all religions. Spirituality cannot be taught. It is felt. It is lived. We watched and learned from the behavior of the parents more than what they said. Our parents influenced us by their behavior more than their words. As children, very smart. Mom and dad would say one thing, but then we watched what mom and dad did. And that had a more powerful effect on us. At least it had on me. Okay? Spirituality resides in the heart. It's not in the head. Okay? Spirituality is not an intellectual thing. It's a heartfelt thing. Okay? It's not an intellectual attribute. Spirituality, I will say, is the divine presence in each and every one of you. You are divine. Everybody is divine. And we have to recognize that, understand that. Innocent children are intrinsically spiritual. A baby is spiritual, an infant is spiritual. They are unafraid, loving, and trusting. They love animals who love them back. There are so many cases where a child has been playing with a snake or playing with a dangerous animal. The animal does not hurt the baby. So many cases are there where the animal plays with the baby. Why? Because the baby is innocent. And when it looks at the animal, the baby is not afraid. Somebody is afraid when you are afraid. If you are afraid, the person across the door from you will be afraid. But if you're not afraid, then the other person may still be afraid. But then again, they may not be. They may not be. Morality and ethics are rooted in spirituality. Our conscience is a small voice of spirituality within. Religious without spirituality is like a paper flower. It has no fragrance. Religion is the flower. Spirituality is the fragrance of that flower. So if you are a practicing religious person, your spirituality should evolve so you are comfortable, and people who come across you will feel that you are a kind, sympathetic, good person. Okay? Religion, divorce from spirituality can result in fanaticism, intolerance, hatred. Religious fervor can be manipulated and directed because their non-thinking is not in the heart. So if you are not spiritual but religious, somebody can manipulate you. History has proven that religious and political power must be kept separate. Separation of church and state. We have found that if you take religion and politics and give it to the same person, it's a recipe for disaster. Politicians try to leverage religious sentiments to gain and maintain a grip on power. They can start wars, only spirituality can end wars. Spirituality is individual, it's benign. It promotes understanding, love, and acceptance. People have been known to change religious affiliation. Christians become Hindus, Hindus become Christians, Jews convert sometimes, Hindus convert sometimes. One cannot convert in and out of spirituality, okay? You can change your religion, you cannot change your spirituality. That is inherent, okay? Forced and seduced religious conversion is a form of aggression that violates the tenets of spirituality. Never force somebody else to change their religion. Basically, what you're saying is that your parents are wrong, your grandparents are wrong, your brothers and sisters are all wrong. You become one of us. That means you alienate yourself from your family, from your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather. Can you imagine? It's not a simple thing when you ask somebody to change religions. In fact, it is wrong. Let them be. Don't try and convert people. If they want to change, welcome them. But don't force them. Don't give them money. Don't give them power. Don't give them jobs. Don't push them to change their religion. Spirituality cannot be formulated and defined by scratch by any individual group. I cannot define spirituality for you, okay? Never try to judge another person spiritually. Judge not that he may not be judged. Oh, I don't think Fred is very spiritual. How on earth do I know that? I don't know that. There is no way for me to know that, okay? If he is spiritual, he is spiritual. He knows it, and that's it. That's it. He knows he is spiritual. He knows that he is accepting. He knows that he is broad-minded. He knows that he is universal. Let it be. It's not for me to judge. I'm not employing him. I'm not trying to judge his spirituality. I never judge another person's level of spirituality. You know, it takes a great artist to recognize another artist. It takes a spiritual person to recognize another spiritual person. Okay? It takes a great musician to recognize another great musician. It takes a spiritual person to recognize another spiritual person. And when a spiritual person meets another spiritual person, he says, huh, another zebra like me. Okay? So there you go. Spirituality is not an appeasement or compromise with fundamental universal values. It is not passivity. It instills moral courage. It sustains those who put service above self. Spiritual persons strive for the welfare of all. They naturally love all and serve all. You've seen that. Love all, serve all. That is spirituality. That is not religion. Love everybody, serve everybody. That is spirituality. And you see that, Doctors Without Borders, you see that about people going and helping other people, whether you're giving food during Thanksgiving, whether you're helping somebody, giving care. An elitist, holier-than-thou attitude is a recipe for distorted view of spirituality. Individually formulated religion frequently leads to the formulation of cults, which are delusional and predatory. Recent examples of Charles Manson, Jim Jones, David Koresh. Don't drink their Kool-Aid, okay? Don't drink their Kool-Aid, okay? Individually formulated religion is dangerous. Cultists believe that they're the chosen ones who answer to nobody. They will destroy society and rebuild it. They're only answerable to the Almighty. That is a cult. When someone tells me I only respond to God and no one else, I do not respect any laws because I am above the law. Be very, very, very careful. Okay. They demand unquestioning obedience, blind faith from their followers. Okay. They claim to speak for God. A cultist would say, I am the voice of God. When someone says that, head for the exit. Head for the exit, okay? All right. All right. Now, plea for preservation of spirituality. The umbilical cord between spirituality and religion must never be cut. Be religious, but be spiritual, okay? Spirituality gives meaning to religion. Spiritual persons see order and beauty in creation. They are a part of creation, not apart from creation. You are part of God's creation. You're not apart from God's creation. Okay? Spiritual persons do not seek dominion over the earth. This world was created for my benefit. No. It was created for everybody's benefit. The air belongs to everybody. The water belongs to everybody. The sky belongs to everybody. The sea belongs to everybody. They understand that we live at the will of a higher power. A human birth is an earned privilege, and it has purpose. Spirituality drives human evolution. The tender spiritual shoot in each one of us has to be cultivated and nurtured and protected by individual effort and alertness. Spirituality will then grow deep roots within us, become strong, and provide a haven. Each one of us is responsible. Each one of us is empowered. to become spiritual. When money is lost, a renewable resource is lost. When morality and ethics is lost, character is lost. But when spirituality is lost, all guidance and the purpose of living is lost. So you can see loss of spirituality is a greater loss than the loss of money. We owe it to ourselves. Spirituality results in unconditional inner peace and completeness, the peace that passeth all understanding. Oops. It is our intrinsic nature. Lay claim to it. Questions? Yes, sir.
Microphone, hold on.
You cited the Christian religion, the Jewish religion, the Muslim religion, and the Hindu religion. What about Buddhism? Is that more of a philosophy of spirituality?
No, Buddhism is a full-blown religion, which is an offshoot. Buddha was, in my humble opinion, the original Hindu Protestant. Okay? He cut out a lot of the mumbo-jumbo. He cut off the power of the priests. See, Buddhism is easy to explain, easy to export. Who founded Buddhism? Buddha. When did he live? This time. What did he say? Yes. But, so Buddhism is a full-blown religion all over Asia. Used to be in China till communism threw it out. Japan, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, India. Buddhism is a full-blown. There are many other religions I did not mention. Zoroastrianism. I mean, there are so many others I did not, but it's a full-blown religion.
Thank you.
She has a question right there.
Many religions address human failure, and some people call that evil. When humans fail, whether it's by immorality or amorality, where does that fit into spirituality?
Well, if a person is highly spiritual, he cannot be immoral. Okay. If a person is amoral, not spiritual, they can do all kinds of bad things. So spirituality is an orientation that is totally opposite of individuality and greed and power. We do bad things because we do not understand. We do not see the divinity in everybody. We do not truly believe that everyone has a right to live. We do not truly believe that we have to share. See, so if you are spiritual, you are very, very unlikely to do harm to anyone, most of all yourself. You will not harm yourself. When we are not spiritual, the greatest harm we do is to ourselves. We lose our peace of mind. We are not happy. People who are unhappy are the people who cause damage. Happy people never cause damage. A little child, you know, if you give them a clean diaper or a little bit of warm milk, they're happy playing. They're contented. So spirituality says, if you look within, all the happiness that you're seeking is in you. In you. You are basically divine, and divinity is always happy. Divinity is always benign. Okay. Does that answer your question?
I'd like to hear more about what you mean by divine. I've always associated that with God. And are you saying that there's a little piece of God in each of us?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you very clearly.
Okay. Divine. Does that mean there's a piece of God
Piece
in
of-
each of us?
She wants to know about the word divine and
Yes.
the way you're using divine. And so she's asking if divine means, is there a piece of God in each of us? Am I asking the question correctly?
Yeah, a piece, P-I-E-C-E.
No, God does not go into pieces, okay?
No, peace.
No,
Peace.
he's
Oh, yeah? Okay, go ahead, continue, sorry.
You see, it's like saying sunshine.
Yeah.
Sunshine shines on all of us. Did the sunshine go in pieces before it shone on us? The air has got vitality. Did the vitality become a small piece and enter us? No. We took the vitality from the air. We take sunshine. Divinity is everywhere, in every person, in every animal. So it's not you can't take a piece of divinity.
No.
It is one big, homogeneous, good stuff.
But you don't worship people, the divine in people. There's a difference
Well,
with,
there is a group of people, myself included, who recognizes the divinity of consciousness, okay? But it's very difficult for people to pray to something abstract. Something, you cannot pray to something abstract. People want a form, people want a concept to whom to pray. If there's divinity within you, which I say there is, you can't start worshiping yourself. People will think you've gone crazy. People will think you've gone nuts. They are worshiping themselves. Oh my God, cuckoo.
yeah.
Okay, so you can't do that. You see, you may feel divine, and you should feel divine. But if you are divine, you're complete. So why is the need for you to worship? You can say, listen, you are God, I'm your child, I worship you, but you exist in me also. You're not something out there somewhere. You are in me. You live in my heart. So if you see some of the paintings in the Roman Catholic tradition, and you'll see Jesus has opened his heart, there is divinity shown inside. So spirituality says, recognize that God is outside, but is also inside.
I see two forms of spirituality. One is the spirit of man, which is personality and other things about us that are not physical matter. And then there's the Holy Spirit of God, which is entirely different.
You see, I'm talking about spirituality in general. You're talking about the Spirit of Jesus or the Spirit of God. That is a very particular way of looking at spirit. Okay? So the words spirit and spirituality are getting muddled up here. Okay? You can be spiritual without being a Christian, without believing in the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Okay? That is one religious tradition. But when I'm talking spirituality, I'm talking about an orientation, about an understanding of universality. I'm talking about you recognizing that not only is God in me, God is in everyone. Okay? So it's a very broad, it's not easy, but it's a very broad vision. It's very broad vision, okay? It's a very, very universal vision about who we as humans are.
Any other questions? Okay, Dot.
I can talk more in private with you one-on-one.
I agree, as you say, that there is peace of God within us. But are you also saying that, as most of us agree, that there is a God out there, other than just within us? There's also a heavenly God.
See, God has no boundaries. So God can be outside and inside. Okay? God is both outside and inside. Okay? So the reflection of the God in you is we call a personal divinity. The reflection of God. If you take a pot of water, put it out in the sun, you will get an image of the sun. You put another pot of water, you'll get another image. Does that mean that there are two suns? No. There's only one sun. It's reflected in as many bodies. So God is reflected in each and every one of us. So the reflection of the God in individual is what I call our individual divinity. She's both inside and outside. Does that answer your question?
If we say that there is a divinity in us, is there an inherent danger that we become the voice of God to others, and which may lead to the cult kind of thing you talked about? What is the danger of us saying that we are the God within us?
We are not just the God within us. We have a body, we have a mind, we have intellect, and we have divinity, which gives us awareness. So it's not that we are purely God. We are a hybrid, okay? We are a hybrid. We have a body, we have a mind, we have an intellect. Our body may not be perfect, our mind may not be perfect, our mind may be confused, but the divinity is still there in each and every one of us. So don't say, I am God. If you say that, if I say that, Fred will recommend that I get locked up, okay? So don't say, I am God. I have divinity in me in addition to me having a body, a mind, and an intellect.
Let me get
Harvey's got a
Harry
question.
first and then.
Okay, we saw in this theater Oppenheimer, the movie.
Oppenheimer, I haven't seen it, but go ahead.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but he had to deal with whether he wanted to go from killing hundreds of thousands to killing millions, from going from an atomic bomb to a hydrogen bomb. And he had great difficulty doing that. But we as a nation have not had great difficulty killing people in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Dresden, and on. Masses of people. How does a leader make a decision who is a moral person, who has spirituality, make a decision between killing all these people and preserving the lives of some other group, namely the armed forces?
You know, Oppenheimer was put in a very difficult position. We call it a great moral dilemma. Not many of us should be put in that position. When the bomb at Trinity burst, Oppenheimer quoted the Gita, the Hindu version, I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. That's what he said. So he realized the immense destruction of the bomb. He realized how deadly it was. At the same time, he could not stop. He could not stop because the other side was readying something. See, scientists get into this enormous dilemma. You see a conscientious objector go into war and he's told, shoot him. And the conscientious objector cannot kill somebody, and yet his duty as a soldier compels him. So that decision of Oppenheimer to do the bomb played havoc with him for the rest of his life. Did he do the right thing? Should he have refused? Should he not have participated? But as his duty as an American, as a scientist, and as an anti-communist, he was thrust into it. So I would not like to be in his position. I would not like to judge Oppenheimer. And I would say that rather thee than me. I don't envy you your dilemma. I don't envy you the decision that you're being asked to make. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm sorry, that's kind of waffling, but that is my answer, Harvey.
I'm sorry to take us back and rehash something, but in my mind, I liken your concept of divinity within all of us to the Christian concept that we are made in God's image and that He created everything. That doesn't say that there's a little piece of God in everybody.
Yes, yes.
But it says that each of us were made in His image.
Yes.
So in a way, there's a likeness to Him in everyone.
Yes. You know, when we say man was created in God's image, it doesn't mean that our fingers and toes look like God, that our hair looks like God, that our eyes look like God, because there's an incredible variety. But what is common is the divinity in us, and that is the image of God in us. So that is what the Bible is saying, that we are created in God's image, which says, don't forget you are spiritual, divine person. But it speaks in a mystical language, okay, unfortunately. And it was said centuries ago. So it has to be reinterpreted and understood in the 21st century.
It's been a very interesting session. I have a question. Are there still cults around? I know there have been in the past. My stepsister and her husband years ago were involved in I Am. I wonder if they did get out of it, but I understand what cults can do and have done in the past. Are there cults now?
What was the question?
Are there still cults?
Oh, absolutely. There are cults all the time, everywhere in the world. There are cults in India every day. There are cults here. There are cults in South America. Because basically, when people are not tuned, they will follow somebody that sounds attractive. If somebody promises you, follow me, I will take you to God. You say, oh my God, sure, I'll follow you. Because you don't have a very deep understanding of your own divinity. You have not a deep understanding of your own scriptures. If you did, you would say, get lost. Get lost, okay? You are just a phony. You're a phony. You say you're God, you're not. So yes, people can be misled, and people are being misled all the time, politically, economically, and religious. And I tell you something, in my humble opinion, misleading somebody's spiritually, is the greatest sin of all. It is the greatest sin of all because basically you are ruining their understanding of themselves. You're ruining their self-estimate. You're ruining, saying that you're not divine. I will tell you what to do. Okay? So it's the greatest sin of all, I think. It's preying on human weakness. We need to be strong in our beliefs. We need to be strong in our understanding. And we need to be strong in our spirituality at all times. We should believe, truly believe, that we are good. That we are good. That when the body dies, we won't die. That there is an element of us which is more than our body, mind, and intellect.
Well, Jiten, I want to thank you for this. Has been a very rich and thought-provoking discussion. So thank you for being here. Let's express our gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you. You'll be.
Jiten will be over here and just maybe take any questions that people have.
I'm here as long as you want. Thank you for your questions. When I get these questions, I know I have touched something in you. And to me, I'm just sharing what I feel. And I hope I have not offended anybody. Okay. And I want to say that Fred is a remarkable person for inviting me. He did not know what on earth I was going to say. You know, really, he had no idea. You know, he thought I was going to talk on Hinduism. But this is Hinduism also. This is the commonality of all religions, okay? So thank you, Fred. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Harv. You got emotional. Thank you.